That's a good point.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host Ahmed Nawaz, the latest roundup of sports today. Let's take a look at what we're discussing. Pakistan's batting continues against England in the third and final test match. It is day one, but it's been an absolute cracker. We've had fantastic game of cricket, although I think it has kept a bit low, hasn't it? But then again, this is the way the pitch has behaved. So England, after being dismissed all out in their innings, they managed to post more than 260 runs, which for Pakistan's case, I think is 100 runs more than what we would have thought. But that 7th wicket partnership really helped Pakistan's case as well. And I think Pakistan losing 3 early wickets has really done the damage, but it's, time from here onwards that somebody takes the charge and, battles this throughout as well. Because still more than 200 runs to go in a trail is something that you don't expect to happen on the first day. But this is the way the test match is proceeding. And will it go to 5 days? Batting in the 4th innings on this kind of pitch is something that I don't want to see Pakistan doing. And I was expecting for us to try to take this an inning before. So we're going to be talking about that in detail. Then we move on to the Emerging Asia Cup, where the semi-final lineup has been completed. Pakistan take on Sri Lanka tomorrow, and India is facing Afghanistan in their semi-final lineup. So I think all the chance for Pakistan to once again be crowned champions in the emerging side of the Asia Cup as well. So we'll talk about those prospects as well. Then we tell you about the Women's Big Bash League as well. But before that, there's been a crazy record made that we have to discuss. Absolute annihilation in the world of cricket. More than 200 runs is something that became a normal in T20 cricket, but more than 300 runs is something that you never expect. And I think that is a record that's not going to be broken easily. Sikandar Raza scoring 100 of just 33 deliveries as Zimbabwe hammered Gambia in the Africa qualifiers region as well. So we'll talk about this crazy record in the world of T20 cricket. And then, of course, like I said, the Women Big Bash League schedule has also been released by Cricket Australia as well, and how this league has really transformed women's cricket in Australia too. So we'll talk all about this in the show in detail. Time now to introduce the guest. First of all, joining us in studios is cricket commentator, international broadcaster, presenter and our sports expert, K. Asif Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, sir?
Walaikum assalam. I'm good, thank you.
Thank you for joining us. We've also been joined by our sports expert and fellow anchor, Sayyid Mohammad Awais. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum, how are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for joining us. We've also been joined by sports expert, Malik Usman Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, Usman?
Walaikum assalam, I'm doing well.
Well, certainly, thank you for joining us as well. And I think there's a lot to be said when we talk about this test match. Let's take a look at one of these reports and then we continue.
Against England at Rawalpindi Cricket Stadium, Pakistan's batting is underway. England made 2 changes to their side. Atkinson and Rehan Ahmed came in for Bryden Cars and Matthew Potts, whereas Pakistan went with the same playing 11 with an aim to seal the 3-match series by 2-1. Earlier, Ben Stokes won the toss and opted to bat first. Pakistan's bowled out England for 267 runs in their first innings at day 1. Smith remained top scorer with 89 runs.
Shouts for catch, no.
Ben Duckett made 52.
He's tried that before and he's not got it past that man.
And Atkinson scored 39 runs.
It's a one-day shot, really. It's
Skipper Ben Stokes made only 12 runs.
That and play that extremely well.
All 10 England wickets fall to spin on turning pitch. Sajid Khan took 6 wickets.
Now, has that hit the pad? Oh, now, that's in. Gone. Ball around the legs. Try. Use your feet. And gone.
While Noman Ali dismissed 3.
Stayed low and is done.
catch it, and the change works.
And Zahid Mahmood picked 1 wicket.
It goes in the air, should be taken by Rizwan.
In the third and final test.
Well, there you have it. All you need to know in this report by Sabah. She takes us through the wickets that fell for England, of course, and now Pakistan. Like I said, the chase is underway. Asif, it's become a very, very terrible wicket to bat on. I think to defend all day is something that we won't be able to do. But then again, still credit to Sajid and Noman the way they've bowled.
And more credit to Tony Hamming. I met him in the media center. He was sitting there and he asked me that, are you happy now? I said, I'm always happy when you talk about that, when you are making pitches, these kind of pitches, you
but
know that.
Two credits, Asif. Let me please, I'd just like you to mention these 2 entities as well, the heater and the fan. So 2 credits are special over there.
And why you are taking credit away from Aqib Javed, who brought this idea? So now, see, well, very well bowled. I'm so happy the way Sajid Khan bowled there. The ball kept low. I do understand. But the shot selection was big problem with the English batters, the way they went for the sweep shot. But on these kind of pitches, you come up with the attack. I like the way Jamie Smith batted. He played 67 first-class games. His average is more than 40, 11 centuries. This is what domestic cricket is. I'm so happy when a youngster like Jamie Smith performing in a very difficult conditions where other great batters, they didn't perform well. So this is called that when you are giving some confidence, the players, they are coming through proper channel, they are playing domestic cricket. One thing. Second, Ahmed, to be honest, Noman and Sajid, doing perfect, fantastic job for Pakistan cricket. I met with crowd was so happy. And
what was the atmosphere like in Pindi Stadium?
This is called typical Rawalpindi crowd. Crowd was, almost that was house full, and people, they were chanting slogans for Sajid first time after Babar Azam. And I asked this question to the crowd as well, that are you missing Babar Azam? And shockingly, 90% of crowd said that no, we are happy that he's taking rest, and when we will come back, he'll do something special for Pakistan. So everyone is happy for Sajid. He is getting chance and he's performing so well for Pakistan. In your interview, you said fourth batting. That's the problem.
I don't want to see that happen. Saeed Mohammad Wes, you've been advocating the fact that in the fourth innings or on day number 4 and 5, the averages at Pindi Stadium are pretty low. So that is a nightmare we don't want to go through in this test match.
I'm happy for Asif Ahmed. He looks more happy today because he needs to be.
It's a rare occasion for Asif Ahmed.
Because when I was speaking to Asif, he's aggressive, before the show. But it's a good thing to see. One thing that you see the crowd back in Rawalpindi Stadium. It was not that, I would say, because you don't have much shades over there, but still you had seen half full stadium, and the way they were backing up the English cricketers, even they were backing up the Pakistani cricketers. But the biggest concern for me, for Pakistan, is that losing the toss, because when Pakistan has to bat second, you can just see the way we are struggling right now. Your openers have been struggling. It's not a wicket to go for runs, I would say. You can't play more aggressive shots over here. You just need to play run a ball cricket over here. Just get your batsmen set, and that's the way you can go on this wicket. It won't be easy task, because you're going to be batting at the 4th position where you have to chase whatever the score will be. So Pakistan track record in test cricket has not been that fabulous. They have been struggling while chasing. So I personally wanted some change in the team. I know you always go with a winning combination, but the best chance could have been like you could have changed your opening department. Shan Masood could have opened with Abdullah Shafiq. If not Abdullah Shafiq, you could have gone with Horera, because like even you were mentioning, he has got one of the fabulous track record in Pakistan with the highest average batting order. This was the right chance. You could have inducted him in the test cricket, because Rawalpindi wicket has been a superb for him. He has been consistently performing in this wicket, but unfortunate, I would say, that was not done. But Pakistan bowling lineup has been doing a superb job. But again, I will say this is a tricky wicket. Next day, it won't be easy for Pakistan to come in and score. I know everyone has been banging on Kamran Ghulam. Unfortunately, he was out early. But Agha Salman is a dark horse for Pakistan. But he needs someone over there like Shan Masood or Saud Shakil, specifically Shan Masood, the way he goes on, because that would be a big wicket for England, because he's under pressure. He needs to perform for Pakistan.
Certainly, Usman, I did ask myself this question, that had we made this pair a couple of years ago, Pakistan's test cricket would have been on another note. But it is what it is. I mean, both of them have been kept out of the game, in the game, then out again. But regardless of how the pitches behave, both of them have really given Pakistan something to cheer about.
They have been good and they have been lucky. They have got the conditions they wanted and they came back into the side. It wasn't for the first test. Had they both of them been there, who knows what would have been the result and how their performance would have been. I think they came in the second test. The pitches were favouring them again in the third test as well. So you have to give some credit to the conditions as well, that it was tailor-made for them to perform well. I think Pakistan slightly underperformed today. I'm a bit pessimist here, you may say so, but I think 267 is a good score. It's not a bad score, and Pakistan with 73 for 3, and Pakistan to bat fourth in these conditions, I think it's going to be one hell of a job for them to win this test match. Pakistan has a recent poor history of third innings as well. So, and the fourth inning, my word, I don't know what is going to happen. I think England would be the happier side today by the end of the day, having 6 wickets for 128 on day one on these kind of conditions. If it would have been a typical day one, I would have taken with both hands, but I think on these kind of conditions, once you had England on the mat with 118 for 6, Pakistan should have closed out their innings pretty early than what it had happened. but I think England would fancy their chances in this test match. Second point is that Pakistan went one-dimensional. I think they were too overconfident after their victory in the second test. They just did not have even a single fast bowler who bowled today. And this is where the difference arises between a captain like Stokes or a Pakistani captain. They had Atkinson, a tall bowler, wicket-to-wicket bowler. He is going to use that unvariable bounce, and he has already fetched a wicket. Pakistan has missed that trick. They went one-dimensional, and once they were caught napping, they did not have a plan B, and that led to a good partnership between Atkinson and Jamie Smith. Jamie Smith, for that matter, knows one way of playing cricket, and that is what he executed today. This pitch is not about blocking and taking singles or doubles. You have to play the ball on merit. If there is a ball to hit, you have to hit it. You should not worry about the demons in the pitch.
73 for 3, I think another trail of 194 runs is still a big task at hand, and I think tomorrow's first session is going to define the tone of this test match, because this pair right now at the crease, and it has to be Shan Masood who needs to step up as a skipper. I think that's very important. Yes.
I would like to add something here. That is, I think Pakistan missed another trick today. That is the opening slot. They should have attacked the new ball, because that was one ball that that wasn't going to spin too much, and that was the best time to bat, because the rollers have been used over there, and that is the best batting conditions for the first few overs. They could have attacked and score a bit more runs. That just did not happen. They went by their merry ways, and I think they are going to do this as the test match progresses.
Well, certainly that would be the case, but yes, Asif, the correct way now to approach this, because like I said, this is a pitch where you cannot defend all day long. You can't afford to let the bad deliveries go, and in every one or once over you get a bad delivery on this pitch.
Well, I think that Usman Bhai, they tried to go behind the ball and they tried to chase the ball, but the problem was that this is not basically the way of playing. We do not play attacking cricket. That's the problem. Jamie Smith innings, when you are pitching ball, short pitch deliveries, talk about Sajid, Zahid or even Noman, he went for the pull shot towards the mid wicket. He hit 6 sixes, and it reminds me great Alex Stewart, if you do remember, when he used to hit those kind of shots against Mushtaq Ahmed, the leggy. So I think you want some partnerships. What happened with these two players, the Atkinson and Jamie Smith, they just went for the strike, and they just waited for the loose deliveries, and they converted into the boundaries. So that's the problem with the Pakistani players, that they didn't try that much as Jamie Smith or Atkinson was doing. One concern is that if Saud Shakil, he's so good with the technique, this kind of pitch, he has scored plenty of centuries in first class cricket in Rawalpindi Cricket Stadium, and talk about the other players, Kamran Ghulam, unlucky, Atkinson, you know, he's such a good bowler, and especially even if you're talking about that if pitch is not supporting to the fast bowlers, it's all about your line of length, the way how you're bowling. As you said that you should have plan B. Pakistan simply just try to play straight with the bat. That's it. There is no need to go, you know, extra in extra defensive mode. Just try to hit the ball with the positive energy. I'm quite sure if you're getting a partnership around 60-70, England will be on the back foot.
Well, that depends, Asif. I mean, that really depends on the way we approach it. For quite some time, we've struggled with the problem that we take early wickets, but then we fail to go through the tail. And today, those Surrey boys, Atkinson and, you know, the other one, they did pretty well, because they realized that, you know, this is the last chance for Pakistan. And I think I'm not wrong, 100 runs more than what we should have given them.
Ahmed, one thing more, you know, that the captaincy, once again, the concern with the captaincy is, rightly said that when you got 6 wickets and now you're not coming up with an attacking approach. All right, if Jamie Smith is hitting towards mid-wicket, why you're not taking a deep mid-wicket for somehow? You just went there that with the one plan, you were stick with that coming up with the flighted deliveries and the batters they're playing with the front foot. That's it. If Jamie Smith is hitting towards deep mid-wicket, you should have taken a protection there and tried to. Zahid was coming up nicely with the flighted deliveries. He was.
But the field placement, let me talk. For me as a skipper, I would have liked Zahid to have a couple of more fielders on the offside close to the bat. But unfortunately, what they gave him was one slip, one silly, and the rest of the fielders were back on the circle. Ask Zahid to bowl as full as he can and have like a short cover, a silly point, something like that in place.
You know, if Jamie Smith is hitting 1 or 2 sixes, that put it was building pressure on Shan Masood, and Shan Masood is not a good skipper under pressure. This is what we have watched against the Bangladesh as well. He has taken some bad decisions. Once again, they've started with the Atkinson with the new ball. Why we haven't given the ball to the fast bowler? That's the question.
Well, certainly that could be one of the cases as well. But Awais, tactically, Shan Masood really he was brilliant today in terms of his body language. He was fielding exceptionally well at short cover, so he was enjoying every moment of that as well. But one partnership shouldn't hamper your case as well. You need to have the ability to think it through as well.
See, Shan Masood as a batsman, I rate him a lot. I mean, because he has served UPL. I mean, he's played a lot of cricket back in the county circuit. He's played for Pakistan, to even in the shorter format. I would say he's performed well, but not as a captain. If you remember today's match, many of the decisions were done by Rizwan. He was speaking to the players. He was getting himself busy with the players. He was even consulting with Shan Masood. That shows what I'm telling you, that you need to be an aggressive, approachable captain. Unfortunately, if I just define Shan Masood captaincy with Stokes, what I loved about Stokes was that in the previous match in Multan, after every ball, he was actually speaking to the players. I mean, getting some players back to the boundary, getting inside the circle, making some field placements, talking to the bowler. That's what you actually play with the mindset of a batsman, and you have to do that. Unfortunately, you don't see with Shan Masood. It is because his individual performance as a captain has not been over there. Remember, when you're sitting in a meeting before the match starts on, even if you have an off day, when you sit in a meeting, the captain specifically, when he's not performing well from such a long period of time, he does not speak much in the meeting because he knows that my performance is not up to that mark. Unfortunately, a person who's sitting over there who might have some pressure cooker in his mind, he might just blast up and say, what's your performance? Tell me first, because you're leading from the front. You need to realize as a captain, you need to lead from the front. Pakistan Cricket Board, the biggest mistake, what I still feel is that what we have done, fine, you have got Aqib Javed. I told you one thing, that this is just one test match, England. I hope Pakistan wins it, but the real test is in Australia. We're going to play T20 and one day. There's where I'll see what the decisions are made and what decisions are not made, because there's a news coming up. Your head coach is not happy with the decision what the selection committee has done over here, that the whole selection committee, that playing 11 will be decided by the Pakistan Cricket Board selection committee. How is it? Yeah, the captain, the coach is your leading role. I mean, he is the one who actually makes the team to play in the ground. They're the ones to make that decision. How can you take that decision away from them? And the biggest issue will be, if you win this test match, it will be because of Aqib Javed. And if you lose the test match, it will be because of your head coach and captain. This is not the way Pakistan Cricket Board needs to do.
But I think, Awais, there has been a certain change in policy as well. Now that you've removed the captain and the coach from the selection process, it's very difficult for a mindset like Jason Gillespie or even for Kirsten to, continue, but on what terms?
See, Ahmed, I told him, because remember, in a I would say the core team, specifically when you have a team manager, you have got the coaches, you got the team captain. That's a main core team which actually represents Pakistan on the ground. They're the ones to make decision who's the guy who will be in the team, who's performing well, who's not performing well, because there's a meeting where your players sit with the analyst. They know what mistakes they're doing. You have just disturbed the whole environment of a team. I'm telling you.
So the balance is something that we talk about, but we go towards a short break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Sports Extra. K. Asif Ahmed would like to add something, of course, before the break. We have been talking about the key to approach this pitch as well, and a lot more things that have been said. But like I said, I think it's a bit of a tactical game now, the way you go, because that 7th wicket partnership has really hampered us. But for once, I think even in the likes of Noman Ali, also known as Brian Lara, and Sajid Khan, our batting is, still a lot more potent than what it has been in the past as well.
Well, actually, as Awais was talking about what happened in Multan, and he was discussing about Ben Stokes' captaincy, that he was so talkative with the team, and he was mentioning the way Rizwan was pretty much communicating with the players. It means, and it reflects something that, will you ask me this question? Why you are telling me that a skipper is there, Shan Masood, and in his presence, another guy who's not even the vice captain, if he's communicating to the team, it reflects that the skipper is not in, where he's not coming up with the full authority. Why? Is he not performing well? Then why is skipper? See, these are the questions. When we raise this question, we ask Pakistan Cricket Board, take clear stance. And if Shan Masood is not performing well, Awais was praising his batting. Awais, tell me that how he is performing in red ball cricket from last 2 years. Since he became the captain, what's his performance with the bat? He didn't perform well in Australia. Let me complete.
I'll let Awais answer this, but Asif, if you can highlight just one more thing additional, because you're talking about batting, then we might skip this before we move on to the next segment. Saim Ayub has played 5 to 6 test matches now. His first class matches number close to 20 and he's got an average of 40 something. Meanwhile, Herrera has played 33 first class matches at an average of more than 50 and more than 3,000 runs. I did not want Herrera to play in this test match because I thought one-off test match is going to ruin his career. So thankfully, Saim was given an opportunity. But that is also a comparison that we can do now. 5 test matches to Saim has been, pretty much something that gives us an idea.
Very well. Very good point. And simple, that who is giving him more chances and what's the policy? The policy is that we will give consistent and ample opportunities to the player that he could perform well. And if he's not able to perform well, definitely will get dropped as Babar got dropped. If you could drop Babar, I think Saim is not that big king as Babar is. So that's the last test for Saim Ayub, and he has last opportunity in the second innings. If he could do something better, otherwise I think Herrera is knocking the door.
Yes, Awais, you would like to respond.
Rightly pointed by Asif bhai, one thing. See, Shan Masood, I told, as a captain, he hasn't been performing well. But if you just leave his captaincy with the bat, he has done some performance. I still remember, even if you speak about, I know everyone has been speaking about his county circuit, that he has been performing, that's a different condition. This is as a captain of Pakistan. As a captain of Pakistan, even if it's Rizwan, even if it's Babar, even if it's Shaheen Shah Afridi, it's not an easy job.
Let me just define red ball and white ball cricket right after this short break. I'll come right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back, and now of course you move on to the emerging Asia Cup where Pakistan have secured their place in the semi-final. The lineup has been completed. Let's take a look at this report.
Slashed hard, work to do for the field and the D, but he'll not
Pakistan A, also known as the Pakistan Shaheens, is set to face off against Sri Lanka A in exciting first semi-finals of the ACC Men's T20 Emerging Teams Asia Cup 2024, scheduled for Friday, October 25th. In their journey to the semi-finals, Pakistan A experienced a tough start, suffering a narrow defeat against their arch-rivals India A by a mere 7 runs in their opening match. However, they quickly bounced back with impressive performances, securing a demanding victory over Oman by 74 runs and following it up with an even more dominant win against the United Arab Emirates, where they triumphed by 114 runs. These victories allowed them to secure a place in the knockout stage. On the other hand, Sri Lanka A topped Group A. The stakes are high as the winner of this crucial match will advance to the final, where they will compete against the victor of the second semi-final.
And they know the importance of this one as they start.
Right, there you go. All you need to know in this report by Malaika about the semi-final lineup that has been completed. So Malik Usman Ahmed, I think it's been an interesting phase for the emerging team of Pakistan as well. But now because they've moved on to the semi, Sri Lanka is a very tough competition up ahead.
Yeah, it's going to be a cracker of a game. Pakistan would fancy their chances, I think. They have been doing well. They were slightly unlucky against India. I think one poor decision that went against Arafat Minhas, I think the result could have been different. But I fancy Pakistan against the Sri Lanka side. All in all the 4 semi-finals, they will fancy themselves to lifting this trophy. All 4 are good. India certainly will start as favourites simply because they have better team, but Pakistan nevertheless are been doing well recently. They have been performing well. They won the previous Emerging Cup as well, and against Sri Lanka I think Pakistan should start as favourite, but it's a 2020 game and anything can happen, and one good performance can lead you to the final, and once you are in the final anything can happen.
Well, certainly. Avais, if you look at all of this emerging, first of all, I mean I'm very happy that we're seeing a quality cricket in Oman. It's a fantastic destination for the near future as well. But Pakistan's emerging campaign has been pretty decent over the past 2 years now. But the only thing required is consistency. Once you move on to the knockout stage, Sri Lanka is a good competition. And regardless of our bowling, still over here as well, consistency in the batting is something that we need.
Ahmed bhai, first of all about Oman, I mean, because Oman in past, I would say 2 to 3 years have worked a lot on the cricket, I mean, and they have produced some fabulous results. When you talk about the major team, not the emerging cup I'm talking about, Oman has done superb job. Even if you talk about the qualifiers, they have been a top performer team, and even they have a proper league system over there, which is live telecast. So you got many players coming up, and especially players are from Pakistan who have been dropped off. They might be playing first class over here. They are just rooting up to Oman, and you have got a good team over here. Pakistan Shaheens, one thing what I see is that your batting is the main concern. Your bowling has been doing a superb job. Arafat Minasa has been performing for you. Other fast bowlers have been doing a superb job. Zaman Khan, little bit I would say, looks off color, but he needs to
what
be
about
back
Abbas
because Abbas Afridi
off color.
Off color too, but the main concern for me is your batting order, because your batting order, Haris, I don't know, it was a good decision that he came down to bat against UAE. You saw a different Haris over there. He needs to step up over here. When you're as a team captain, you need to realize what team captain means, I mean, because he's got so many chances for Pakistan, but he hasn't been consistent with his performance. He needs to understand one thing, that you're not there for scoring quick 10 runs, 40 runs. You are there for scoring big runs for Pakistan, winning a big match for Pakistan, because you're somewhere called a second backup keeper for Pakistan.
Certainly.
You need to realize that. But
absolutely.
Sri Lanka would be a tough.
I think it's a very tough competition ahead, and even for Afghanistan, India, I think that's a very good semi-final itself as far as the competitive side of it is concerned. Now we move on to some crazy things happening in the world of cricket. Let's watch this report.
Zimbabwe made history by scoring 344 runs for the loss of 4 wickets against the Gambia, setting a new world record for the highest total in men's T20 international cricket. Zimbabwe won the match by 290 runs, bowled out the Gambia for just 54 runs. Sikandar Raza was a standout player, scoring 133 not out from just 43 balls, reaching his century in only 33 balls. This victory secures their spot in the final round of Africa's qualifying for the 2026 World Cup. The innings featured 27 sixes, breaking the previous record of 26. Marumani scored 62 of 19 balls. Clive Madande added 53 not out of 17 balls. And Bennett contributed 50 of 26 balls. On the bowling side, Brandon and Richard each took 3 wickets. The Gambia, who became an ICC associate member in 2017 and is currently ranked 95th in the world, faced difficulties in the tournament. They became the first team in cricket history to lose 2 T20 internationals by walkover earlier in the tournament.
Well, there you have it. Have you ever seen anything crazier in the world of cricket? I'm not sure, but K. Asif Ahmed, this is certainly something that is going to take a lot of nerve and heart to break now, because this is truly a record which is going to remain unbroken.
Well, of course, you know that when we talk about this T20 cricket, it's been amazing. You watch a player like Sikandar Raza, he's the skipper as well. And he's such a fantastic player. But in this innings, you watch his paddle sweep, his cut shot, his down the track, each and everything was amazing. And when you're scoring more than 300, it looks like, you're dreaming in T20 cricket. But Gambia, of course, they guys are participating for the first time. And even Zimbabwe is a tough task against them. And these kind of records you could see in ICC qualifiers as well. But well done, Zimbabwe, amazing.
Well, certainly. Usman, obviously, I think it really sets the balance off balance if you're having Zimbabwe, which has been a test playing nation, playing against Gambia. So that is also something that I think inclusivity is great, but the Gambians shouldn't be demotivated at this moment, I think.
They will never be demotivated, I don't think so. Getting more and more opportunities against bigger sides, that is what a developing team loves to have. but I think there is no competition actually. As you said in your question itself, that Zimbabwe has a rich history in Test cricket, one day and T20. They have beaten Australia in the inaugural World T20 as well. So there was no competition, and with the rise of T10 leagues and some of the players already featuring over there, Sikandar Raza nonetheless, so they know how to start from the very first ball itself. And once you get a bowling lineup like this, players like Sikandar Raza would be licking their lips, and that is what they have done, scoring hundreds for fun and scoring over 300, close to 350 rather. So this is a record that will take some ages, or until and unless a new Sikandar Raza is born.
Well, I think it came to a point where he didn't even want to come out and bowl as well, so it took the fun away. But Aves, you surely would have enjoyed batting on this surface against this team as well.
Would love to, yeah, seriously. And especially against this team. One thing, Ahmed Bhai, because if you talk about the pool of cricket now, if I'm not wrong, it is around 45, like 40 to 42 countries. I mean, they're playing cricket, because Argentina, even you have France, I mean, they're playing cricket. But the division, what they play, the biggest problem, what I still feel is that for ICC, they need to realize one thing, even if it's Africa qualifiers, that means it might be in the Division 4 or Division 3 of Africa. The top teams, which are basically have got the test status, which are a regular member, I would say, of full nations, they automatically need to qualify for the next rounds. They don't need to play against these teams, because what issue is, for me, it's the fun. I mean, you have got 26 or 27 sixes being hit to a team, but the other team, which is actually representing a country, the confidence breaks. I mean, you won't be able to see them getting back onto their feet for the next match. It takes some time psychologically. Literally, you get a lot of criticism, and you to be back on the feet, it takes time for you. So the ICC really needs to look at this kind of positions, because it's not fair. I would
Absolutely,
say.
I think it really, like I said, it creates a bit of environment which can be, a bit tricky. Yes, Usman, what would you like to add?
I think a team like Uganda would differ with your analysis. They qualified for the World Cup by beating
and they were a good side. Let me be honest, they were a very good side, gave a lot of inclusivity to them. But thank you very much, gentlemen, all three of you, for joining us on the show. Before we go, we've got a special thing to share with you as well, that the schedule for the Women's Big Bash League is out as well. We leave you with that. You take a look, and of course, from me and the entire team, of course, we talk about, the Big Bash being such a good one for the world of cricket, and I think it has truly reformed the women's game as well. So that is something that I'm sure when all of you would be watching the Big Bash League, you'll be knowing some of the names as well. So that creates a lot of stars and a lot of cricket as well at the same time. But that's all we have time for. From me and the entire team, it's goodbye for now.